Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Down and Dirty Power 30 on relational goals. Today's topic is very interesting for me as a mom and for a lot of our goal getters out there who are moms. We're going to talk about drama-free parenting. Here with us today is Rachel McBride, and she is a compassionate advocate and very conscious communicator in mindful parenting. And she teaches those methods with over 25 years of experience in early childhood education and a strong background in child development and education. Rachel is dedicated to supporting parents in navigating the often challenging journey of raising teenagers. Hello. We know that's hard. Okay. She's very driven by and has a deep belief in the power of empathy and mindfulness. And Rachel specializes in helping parents create harmonious relationships with their children through personalized coaching sessions, workshops, and retreats. And she equips parents with practical tools and strategies to foster open dialogue and resolve conflicts. She also helps build trust within their families. Rachel understands the joys and struggles of parenting, as she is not only a seasoned educator and a parent educator, but also a mother of 3. So, her parent-centric program integrates nonviolent communication, emotional intelligence, and peaceful parenting methods to bring ease and empowerment to families. If you're a parent longing to bring peace, which we know we all are, and playfulness and connection into your relationship with your children, and I want you to make sure that you listen to the end of this talk and make sure you get a lot of wisdom from Rachel herself. So let's all welcome Rachel McBride. We're so happy to have her here. I know I am.
Yay. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is such an important topic. And I mean, such an important topic and thing to talk about for parents, for moms, for women who have children of all ages. So
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to start off and thank Rachel for joining us, and also start by sharing the relational goal outcome that you'll be focusing on today and why it's crucial for parents to have open communication with teenagers.
Well, because being a teenager is really hard. Being a parent is hard, and being a teenager is challenging as well. And when we have this open communication and we have this open dialogue, we're able to just connect, really create spaces where we feel safe to have conversations is so important, because being a teenager is so hard.
Well, especially now. Well, it's always been hard, but more than ever now in today's world. I mean, they're dealing with things that us as parents can't even truly understand. So I agree that those conversations are so important. So with that being a goal, which I think every parent that has kids, and especially in this time, what would be, I know that would be a goal of theirs, but what would be a strategy that you would recommend? I know there's a lot of strategies that you give. I have friends that have used you and helping them with their children and know that it works, but give me a strategy that you would recommend to achieve this goal.
Yeah, well, I like to break it down. I've created the 3C method that leads to connection. And the first step in that method is compassion, right? And I say to parents all the time, every interaction that we have with our children, we have the opportunity for connection or disconnection, right? And it's really up to us to decide. So let's talk about connection. The first step in this strategy is coming in with compassion. And compassion is empathy. And so many of us don't know what true empathy is, right? It's, so often we say, it's okay, you're going to be okay, but you can do this. When empathy is really coming in and saying, I don't know, something like, yeah, homework is a little frustrating tonight, right? It's going to take hours to get this homework finished. I imagine you're feeling overwhelmed. That's true empathy, seeing them. We want to create spaces where our children feel seen and heard, where they feel understood. So offering compassion will bring relief. Oftentimes just, I'll see kids and their shoulders will just drop. It's like, yeah, you're right. Like, this project's really hard.
Right. And the fact that you're having that compassion. So that is the strategy. So number one in this goal is to create a way to have compassion in your communication to really move forward. And so with that, then there's going to be the different actions that you would recommend through that. And the compassion also would include the empathy.
Yes. And empathy, empathy is really begins with us noticing how we feel.
Yes.
And that is also a challenge for so many adults, right? We don't tune in often and know, wait a second, how do I feel? Right? It's like, I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. So compassion for our children begins with compassion for ourselves. That's kind of the little secret. That's the biggest trick of all.
Well, how do you do that then?
And it begins with one of the first things I have parents do when I work with them is to pause and notice how you feel first. Notice how you feel. I often ask people to practice pausing a few times a day. Notice how you feel, because we want to build this emotional literacy, and that helps us to have compassion in the moments when we're guessing how our children may feel. Are they feeling angry, overwhelmed, frustrated, just annoyed and agitated, or do they feel disconnected? Really digging in with compassion.
And you're saying for us to assess ourselves
first. That's the first step.
But we just need to know where we are so we can, but we don't communicate that.
We can communicate that, but that's a different step. Right now, the strategy for compassion is have it for yourself.
I need to implement. So I'm an implementer. Yes. I like to do this, and trust me, it's like we all are learning and growing every day. We didn't get the manual on perfect parenting.
Right.
So it's just how can we grow? But all right, so.
And there's no perfect parenting.
No.
There's no perfect parenting.
Well, right.
The last thing we want is for our kids to think we're perfect. That would be a really hard act to follow. No one's perfect. And when I work with parents, I talk about how to repair after we aren't perfect. Because moments of when we all make mistakes, because we do, those moments can be used for connection in such a beautiful way. So being perfect is never our goal. Self-compassion, empathy, so that we can have compassion for our kids.
No, that's right on.
There.
No, that is so good. Okay. So that helps a lot to explain. All right. Now, what would be then the next step? Because I kind of jumped the gun and I get excited. I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? Okay. So, yes.
So the second C, right? So we have 3 C's. First C is compassion. Second C is curiosity.
Okay.
Right. And curiosity requires us to pause. And instead of when our oftentimes our teenagers are talking, and all of our children, no matter our age, you may notice, right? Am I making assumptions before they've even finished talking? Have I made a judgment? Am I trying to fix this problem, right? Or am I just listening? So curiosity is asking questions to understand. Again, right? That means the practice for us is to refrain from judgments, to refrain from comparisons, right? Well, your sister never did this, right? Well, the neighbors down the street.
Yeah, back in the day when I grew up.
Right. Yes. And why do our neighbors get to school on time every morning and we're always struggling to get out of the house? Like, come on, right? And so it's really coming in with this questioning and asking questions to understand. I'm noticing you have shut your alarm off 5 times this morning, right? I've noticed you've hit the snooze button 5 times this morning. And I'm wondering, why don't you want to go to school today? I'm wondering, was there a problem with the teacher? I'm wondering, did you finish that project that was due this morning? Right?
Okay. Well, it's interesting because I think if you come in with the compassion, because so often, the teenagers, you ask them questions and it's like a 1-word response. So is it that when you teach to start with the compassion and empathy, that they become more open to answering your questions with a bigger response?
Yes. Exactly that. And we all do, right? In a space where we feel like, here comes the judgment. Here comes the shame. Here come all of the assumptions.
Right.
She thinks she knows everything. This is another teachable moment. I don't want to hear it right now, right?
Right.
When we come in at that, guess what they do? They shut down. They shut down as their defense. They shut down. They go to their room. They shut the door. They walk out of the front door, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that is their response to what we tend to do, because generationally, that's what parents have done for years and years and years and years, right? Because I said so, don't ask me, don't ask any questions, all of the places that we are just wired to come from.
Well, and it's easier. It's harder to work the other way, but it doesn't help your relationships grow. No.
And that's it. So when we come in also with this awareness, like I said in the beginning, we have an opportunity to create connection or disconnection. We get to decide. judgments and criticism and blame and shame. These are things that I dig so much deeper into with parents because they're rooted so deeply inside of us
Mm-hmm.
that really doing the work is what creates that change. But no, just having this awareness, right? How are we coming to the conversation? How do we show up?
Mm-hmm.
And how can we create a space that feels safe? And I say to parents all the time, if you come home to your partner and you
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, I've had the worst day, it's been awful, and this happened and that, and it was deadlines and all of the things, and if they say, oh, Wendee, you're going to be okay, it's okay, you can do hard things, or if
Mm-hmm.
their response is, wow, Wendee, that sounds like it was an awful day, like
Mm-hmm.
that's miserable, I can't believe you had to do that all day, you just feel a little better with
Yeah,
some empathy, compassion. You feel heard, right? You feel
absolutely.
heard, you feel seen. And again, it often creates just that sense of relief right away and softens the conversation,
Yeah.
right? They don't feel attacked anymore and they're more willing to be open. All of us are, no matter our age.
I think this
All
is
of us.
honestly for every relationship.
Yeah.
It's just drama-free parenting. All right. So, also had then a question in regards to that. I mean, obviously, your child, yourself, if there's a parent you co-parent with along, obviously everybody would be included. Also, what I'm thinking is the questions, like, do you teach later, like, ways to how to come up with the right questions to get deeper responses, like not just to create a one word response?
Yes, for sure. And I work with clients, and I always say too, this is the greatest thing about having a
Move
parent
this
coach
microphone.
to come alongside and support, right? When I
Mm-hmm.
come alongside you, we get to practice real life. You get to tell me what's happening in your house.
Yes.
And we practice real life circumstances, right? And what's happening really with you and your children. So yes, definitely that is something I dig a little deeper
Yeah.
into. Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's good. I mean, just because sometimes people don't know where to begin, or if someone, that's not their strength, is to dig, or like, it's kind of like you have that detective personality. Do you know what I'm saying? To understand what kind of questions to ask to get to the root of like what's going on. It's not everyone's gift to do that. So you help guide people for the questions to get the answers, to understand, to have a better understanding through that curiosity process. Okay, thank you. And then so that would be something that you just do on the regular. After you have compassion, because every day is a new day and there's constant changes. Okay, I know you said there's three C's, so I think there's another C.
There is another C. There is another C, and the third C in this method is collaboration. Collaboration, right? Because again, how often do we make demands, right? I work and we talk about requests versus demands. So a demand may sound like, clean up your room or you're going to be grounded. Demand may sound like I'm taking the keys away if you come home late again, right? It can sound a little bit like I want you to do this or I'm going to do this, right? And so working collaboratively, which when I talk to parents who say that's what they want for their kids, right? That's what they want for their kids as adults. We want them to be able to collaborate and work together, to work with colleagues and to be able to talk things out. And we have to begin by modeling that at home. Part of collaboration is, yeah, this homework's really hard, right? Yeah, I get it. You're not really caring for your teacher much. And now we're going to collaborate on this. What can we do?
Yes.
How can I support you?
Yeah.
What can I do? What can you do? What can we do? Do we call the teacher? Do we call the school? Do we send an email, or do we go to the library together? Whatever it is. But now we're working together to problem solve. We're coming up with solutions together, because when our children are part of the solution, their willingness to follow through with our solution rises, because now they haven't been told what to do. They're part of the solution, right? They're part of the solution, right?
That would have been good to know. Trust me, I'm taking those keys away. Give me that cell phone. If you don't put that cell phone away at dinner, or yeah, like, okay, we have a problem. We're just trying to communicate here. Everyone, let's be present here.
Yes.
No, absolutely. I think it's a whole, I mean, geez, I have a 17 and a 22-year-old. Could I have met you back about 10 years ago? That would have been amazing.
Well, I mean, Wendee, I have to tell you, I have a client who came to me, her kids were in her 30s, and she says, my 30-year-old daughter won't speak to me anymore.
Wow.
And we did the work. We did the work and talked about what would it look like and how do you now come back and repair this.
Yes.
And we made moves. Her daughter answered her text messages.
Aww.
Her daughter was finally coming by our house. So it is a process that works.
Well, I think it's a life relationship,
yes,
right? And
absolutely.
how important is your family? I mean, just to improve. And I don't necessarily think it's just for teenagers. I mean, this could be starting at a young age all the way up. In general, it doesn't really matter. And probably from what you're just even teaching here with the 3 C's, which is the compassion, the curiosity, the collaboration, this could basically be used in workplaces too. I mean, I believe as leaders, as managers, building this into your communication style really could, I think, help. It will help me. What I learned today will be extremely helpful. I know. So I know that we always love a really good success story, right? Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to expand more like on the frequency of some of these, like anyone that needs to be, or any tips around how best practices to collaborate or best practices in becoming curious? Because I know we have 30 minutes. So if you want to bring in a few more other tips, then we can talk about the success story. I know that that woman that you just shared, that's great. Maybe you can expand on that too.
And I do. I have many success stories. And what I really want everyone to know is that it begins with us. And that's the part of pausing first, noticing how do you feel? Right? Really validating how you feel, having compassion for yourself first, offering yourself empathy is where it begins, because the old cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup, is so true.
So the self-care part.
It's so true. And self-care is deeper than a bubble bath or a warm cup of coffee. It's deeper than that. And again, that's the work that I expand on. It's like, how do we really dig deeper? How are you really feeling? What do you really need right now? Because when our needs are met, just like our children, no matter their age, right? When we feel seen and heard and understood, right? It's always, I talk about, and I think many women who are watching this can relate to this, right? You come into the kitchen and there are dishes everywhere and the dishwasher's overloaded and the place is a mess, right? And you see shoes and you see jackets and all of the things, right?
I'm having visuals. I think a lot of people are having visuals.
And then what do we do? We start with some more haste than normal, right? We may start moving those cabinets quickly or slamming the dishwasher, door. And that behavior right there, right, is because how are we feeling in that moment? It's like, pause in that moment. I feel really unappreciated. Why am I the only one who sees these dishes in the sink every day? Right? I feel really unappreciated. Yes. Right? I feel unsupported. And I need, that's what I need. I need support. I need some cooperation here. Can we get together?
So what would you do in a situation like that?
Wendee, I'll tell you, because I have teenagers. I live with teenagers. My kids are 13, 15, and 17.
Yes.
Okay. And part of the collaboration is making a request, right? And a request is something like, when you're finished with this video game, would you mind coming out and emptying the dishwasher? Right? So it's not, hey, I need you to come out here right now. This kitchen is a mess and I need you to empty the dishwasher. But it's kind of going in, again, connecting with some compassion and curiosity. How much longer do you think you'll be? Right? Would you be willing to come on out?
I'm feeling sad that you are playing your video game and I have this mess out here. I'm sorry. It's just like,
right.
This is shifting a lot of mindsets, but I know you see results.
I see results and it begins with us. Yeah. Noticing, hey, guess what? I feel like a doormat over here. I need someone to come out and help me. Right.
No.
And I do say this, and I'll just say, can someone come on out? Who's coming out? And then sometimes it'll be, I did it last time.
Oh, I know.
It's all of that.
It's a constant thing.
And they'll also come out and work alongside me while I'm cleaning up something else. They'll unload the dishwasher, right?
Right. No.
It's possible. And I know this work is possible because I live with 3 teenagers. right? And so for me, it was everyone being afraid of teenagers, right? And dreadful teenage years. And this is some of the best years. I'm enjoying my teenagers.
And I think everybody grows and learns through every season of life. And that's a big thing. Like when we talk about goals to life, like being with you through every season of life and every season of the year, because like when you have a newborn, it's very different than when you go in and someone's going to school for the first time to then they hit into teenagers and then young adults, and how you parent through all those seasons. You have to change and grow and learn too. But I do believe just in general, like what you're teaching is something that can be used in not just this area. Obviously, it's going to help for this. You have a specialty, you know what works in this season of life. And so I appreciate that. Now, so, all right. So it's typically the families involved. Usually you start with yourself. And one big thing, which I love that she said, is that we have to assess ourselves. So everyone knows in goals to life, accountability is everything, right? So it starts with ownership, owning what's going on here before we can even be accountable for any type of change. So I just love that that's how you teach. That's what we want people to do, is to have a level of ownership and assess and do those assessments and gauge where they're at. So that's great. Okay. How about this is like daily actions? This is something you want to see practicing on the constant. It's just part of communication in your household and with your children. How about is the success story? I know, wow, you said 30-some-year-old woman. She's not a teenager. She is coming to you, wanting to have a different relationship. And here we go. So it can be, it just can change things altogether.
It can change things. I have a mom who has a teenage daughter, and she was dreading going shopping with her. And this was the beginning of, she said, it was all the stuff, what she was choosing, mom was really uncomfortable with the midriff, all the things, right? And so again, a success story is, and she sent me a text message that said, Rachel, you'll never believe it. Like, we went shopping and I stayed curious, right? I stayed curious and also understanding of like, yep, this is what the girls are wearing, right? And got curious. And she said, we didn't even have a blow up, right? They decided on a dress together and there was not a blow up. And she said many times before there have been blow ups.
Yeah. No, that's a good example, just because, and we want to create these experiences, healthy experiences, healthy communication. No, I appreciate that example on what you have. And thank you for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. I really appreciate it, Rachel.
Oh, thank you, Wendee. Thank you for having me here.
I mean, there's so much that you're going to be able to teach in our community. You guys, she's a goal expert in relationships. Obviously, we know this can be used in a lot of different areas, but I would highly recommend looking at the stuff that she has, her coaching program. If you are a parent right now that is parenting teenagers and you are having challenges, I highly recommend reaching out to Rachel to figure out how you can have healthier relationships in these years. I mean, like she said to me, I need to sign me up. I mean, I've got a 17 and a 22-year-old, but like she said, it doesn't really matter because it's a lifelong relationship and we all have a room to grow. But I think it does start with us. I'm a firm believer in that. And I love that you're teaching that. So I really also just want you guys to know that her website and her information is listed in the Goal Expert section, and we'll have it listed underneath here for you. We also are going to list all these strategies and actions underneath the posted Down and Dirty for today on drama-free parenting. So check that out. And anywhere else that they could reach you or connect with you?
My email is, we'll put that up, right? You can certainly send me an email, braveparentjourney.com. Yeah, that's a great way to get a hold of me immediately. And then, yes, through my website as well, which is Brave Parent Journey.
No, I thank you so much. I can't wait for you to come back. So we do plan on having her. We're having many more times, or there's multiple strategies that she shares, but this is one I think is pretty easy. 3 C's, right?
Yes, compassion, curiosity, and collaboration.
Let's go.
Write
That's
those
easy
down.
to remember.
Post those. Yes.
3 actions, you guys. Let's do it. Let's build it into your goal plan. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. So, Rachel, I honestly just want you to know that you're going to help a lot of people overcome challenges in their home and create more harmony there. So check out, again, all of her offerings. And you guys, next week, we're doing a Down and Dirty Power 30 with Carrie Devannon, who will be sharing insights on achieving physical goals with little by little little becomes a lot. So make sure you tune in for invaluable strategies and inspiration from Carrie. Until then, stay connected and empowered on your parenting journey. As it doesn't matter if you're parenting, you're always parenting different seasons at all times. So thank you for joining us today. And thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.